Welcome to a recent interview that I had with a truly exceptional woman. Not only is she a veteran, but she has the sheer drive to try to help as many people as possible through her shared experiences in dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. She also has amazing advice on the application of using cannabis. I hope you enjoy. Good. Hopefully some viewers will have the power to be able to fix some of these situations so we can take care of each other.
One can hope.
For people that might be in your situation, particularly women that have never used cannabis, what suggestion, advice, or knowledge would you like to give them? I guess maybe to kind of sum up.
If it's non-hindrance to your position, I'm all for it. There's so many benefits, and I've heard a lot of, and more recently as well, but even back home, that it gives people anxiety. Well, that's not the right one. There's so many different strands. It's some that give you highs, some that mellow you out, some that help you sleep and knock you out all night. And again, with the combination in a mixture and really combining some, there's grinders out there, so mix and match and find your right potion, as you will, for what's going to work with you. Because one strand might give you high anxiety, but that's not to say that another strand won't, or a good mixture would keep you mellow and focused. So don't just stop at one. See what works for your body, because it's like anything else. You have to play with it to see what works for you, because we're not all the same.
And there's so many varied options, not only in terms of types, but also in routes of administration and ways that it could be utilized and so forth. So a lot more options than just a pill that has your name on it, but it is not individualized in any way for you.
Yeah, and you can individualize it yourself, and that's the fun thing about it, and the great thing about it, because if you're suffering from mental illness or PTSD, where you have these triggers and you're on a high one moment and then you go into a deep depression the next moment, and you have things you need to get done, and you're a busy individual or trying to be your own success story, there are things you need to get done. And if you're on a down for 5 to 7 days, it takes a lot longer, and that's what I'm struggling with right now. Because I am writing a book on PTSD and trying to find what's going to work for me and with mind, body, and spirit, and getting that out there not only to my fellow veterans, but also to anyone who suffers from mental illness. And I'm very real and open and honest on my down days and wanting to harm myself, and my up days and getting a million things done and accomplished. But I do very much so miss the fact that I can have what works for me, because it is detrimental to my success right now. It has slowed me down quite a bit.
It slowed down your productivity and things that are important.
Very much so, yeah.
Well, hopefully those options will change for a whole bunch of people, millions of people out there real soon. I know that you're a very special person. You mentioned all these creative things. Do you have a title for your book yet?
I do. It's called Walking with Illness.
Excellent. Why did you choose that specific title?
Because I haven't.
Okay.
And I'm not shy about what I go through. As I stated before, I really want to be that advocate, and I really would like to be speaking internationally on mental illness, and just getting it out there more, because it is more prevalent. And I'm not sure if it's the fact that it's more prevalent, it's just more spoken about. 1 in 4 do suffer from some form of mental illness, and men in particularly, and I know it's something that the women are more open about, but men and boys in particularly, the suicide rate has gone up 17% since 2017, from the ages of 10 to 74.
Yeah,
17%. That is outrageous, and I think a lot of that has to do with the whole males don't show emotions, or that's not manly too. But the fact of the matter is, we're all human, and we were born with emotion, and it's okay. You don't have to hold it in, and I think we need to be more open about that, and it doesn't make you weak in any way to have and show emotions. And I think as females, we need to be more supportive of another and help fix each other's crowns, because if everyone could just realize that we all have been through something and we can speak life into another and assist another and share experiences, and the fact that none of us have quit because we're still here, that can, what you have to say can empower and inspire somebody else to say, wow, that person did it. So it's just about fixing each other's grounds and building each other back up, because everyone here matters.
Sure, I agree. I truly think that I am no more important than anybody on the street.
Yeah.
And we're all connected, essentially.
You have to, everyone has a story, and the homeless person you meet on the street could be working towards something fantastic and great, and the president of the United States could be the biggest jerk in the world, but if you treat everyone with respect, then that's what comes back to you. And sometimes a word or a smile or a hug or 5 seconds of listening to somebody. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the story of the gentleman that jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge and survived. For 8 hours, he paced back and forth, just wanting someone to acknowledge him, and nobody acknowledged him. And that was his premise for jumping. So it's really just about human compassion and realizing that we all have a story. We're all flawed. Nobody's perfect, no matter what status you're at, in being there for another. And I think as a world, we've lost that.
Well, thank you, Nicole, for not only dealing with and carrying your own burden, but being willing to carry other folks along with you, and just knowing that you are strong enough to be able to do so, and that you were struck with that purpose in life.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, I guess we'll just conclude then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for watching this part of our interview. As always, we hope that it truly helps as many people as possible. If you do appreciate the content that we're providing you nearly every single day, please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons, or becoming a patron or even a donor to the University of New Mexico's Medical Cannabis Research Fund, where we are fighting for you every single day to provide you the type of information that you could use to make sound medical decisions for yourself and for your family. We're also fighting for you as advocates to be able to give you a loud, confident voice in knowing that you do have full control over your health decisions, and you have the right to be able to make those decisions as you see fit. Together, through our loud, collective, and confident voices, we are changing the world.